Welcome back to another video of the Hockey National Show with the hockey coach, Coach FRENCHY, directly for the beautiful country of Thailand. Today, we want to talk about the trade deadline. Some different rumors happening for the last couple of hours. First of all, we will talk about Chychrun for the Arizona Coyotes. Then, following by Erik Karlsson from the San Jose Sharks. BERTUZZI, Detroit Red Wings. Finally, we're going to talk about ALEXANDRE DEBRINCAT from the Ottawa Senator. But the first player we want to talk about is Chychrun for the Arizona Coyotes. Listen, we have a couple of teams are thinking to make a trade for him. But what we heard yesterday is the Arizona Coyotes healthy scratch before the game they play against the St. Louis Blues. This is really an indication is very close to have a deal. Some team like Edmonton, Toronto Maple Leaf, Boston Bruins are maybe thinking to make a trade for him. But what we heard from Elliotte Friedman is going to be the Los Angeles Kings or the front runner to get Chychrun. We know the Kings always been a team and negotiation or the favorite team to get the Chychrun could become a great asset for the Los Angeles Kings are right now pushing to make the playoff in the Pacific Division. It's another story we're going to follow up for the next couple of hours, but don't be surprised. We're going to be back in the next couple of hours to mention a trade between the Los Angeles Kings versus the Arizona Coyotes for Chychrun. The next player we want to talk about, guys, is definitely from the San Jose Sharks. I'm talking about, guys, Erik Karlsson. Karlsson, guys, you have a lot of conversation about Karlsson for the last couple of hours. But one thing is really more in the front runner right now is honestly is the Edmonton Oilers. I'm really surprised to hear that. We know the Oilers are looking for a defenseman, have some kind of transition as a skill to move up the puck and add a little bit more offensive or for the defensive side for the Edmonton Oilers. Here, the problem with this situation with Edmonton Oilers is the cap space. If ever the Edmonton Oilers would like to get Erik Karlsson, if San Jose would like to trade him to the Oilers, it's all about the remaining money salary cap for Erik Karlsson. We know he has an AAV of $11.5 million for the next 4 years. For this year, it will not be a problem. San Jose can hold 50% of the contract. But what happening after that? And this what may be only the red flag about the negotiation for Erik Karlsson. Can the San Jose Sharks are willing to hold 50% of the contract from today until to the end of his contract of Erik Karlsson? This is what Edmonton are right now on negotiation to get possible Erik Karlsson. The next player we want to talk about, guys, from the Detroit Red Wings is BERTUZZI. Another UF3 right there for the NHL. BERTUZZI have missing most of the season this year with some kind of injuries. But we're thinking possible the Dallas Stars are looking maybe to add a winger for their lineup for the final months of the NHL season 2022-2023, and to add a little bit with play with Tyler Seguin. I think BERTUZZI could add those kind of power for the top six for the Dallas Stars. But they are not the only team are thinking to make a trade for BERTUZZI. We thinking the Tampa Bay Lightning. We know Julien Brisebois every year make some kind of trade to helping Tampa Bay to get better. Possible to have those kind of connections. Steve Yzerman, Tampa Bay. But why the Dallas Stars? Because Jim Neal works with Steve Yzerman and Detroit too. So I believe those three teams could possibly make some kind of trade for Tyler BERTUZZI at some point in the next couple of days before the end of the trade deadline, March 3rd. Finally, the last player we want to talk about, guys, is ALEXANDRE DEBRINCAT for Ottawa Senator. What we heard for the last couple of hours is possible that Ottawa Senator are not going to do any move about DEBRINCAT. We know he's going to be RFA at the end of the year, is increasing his salary cap from $6.2 to $9 million. This is going to be his last season of his contract before he becomes a UFA after that. Look like because the situation with the ownership look like they are more on the hold to make any big move. The Ottawa Senator wait until during the summer when they have some kind of new ownership around the team, could have those kind of decisions about ALEXANDRE DEBRINCAT. I think it's a really smart for the Ottawa Senators to wait until the off summer and then possible helping the Ottawa Senators try to be back on the race for the playoff spot for this season and the Atlantic Division. This guy conclude everything about the trade deadline. I would like to hear from you. What do you think about my selection of the 4 players? Do you see any move? Do you see Chychrun somewhere else other than Los Angeles Kings? Do you see Erik Karlsson to be moved or not before the end of the trade deadline? What about Tyler BERTUZZI? Is it a Dallas Star? Is it a Tampa Bay Lightning? Or is it another team? Finally, do you really believe the Ottawa Senators are going to trade or not Alex DEBRINCAT? This concludes, guys, this short video of the trade deadline update from the hockey coach, coach FRENCHY, directly for the Before Country of Thailand. But before we leave, we invite you, don't forget, please, to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey National Show, and leave me a comments about this video. And of course, we want to wish you an amazing, great, blessing day, everybody.